did not give its light. There was a comet, and on that day, in the UN, they signed a fucking deal.
On the day.
I was just revealed it. I mean, it's not on the news or anything, okay? But they did. So, after COVID, they realised that, well, it's now to talk about how things needed to change, okay?
Mm.
Now, they were talking about the one world thing before COVID. And then when COVID hit, that kind of gave them a focus to keep the one world thing alive, okay? Because, well, now we have a real good scientific reason to talk about a one world administration, okay? Because when we have these pandemics like this, we need to be able to control it. You know how instantly, as soon as COVID hit,
yep,
all of a sudden all around the world, the countries were all agreeing to shut their airports and do this and everything, okay? And, right?
Yep.
So they're all taking orders. All the countries started taking orders from the WHO and stuff, right? So it's like a practice run.
Yep.
So now the deal is that, and because the countries around the world, they didn't have to do what the WHO said, and there were some countries that weren't. And remember, there was a lot of that going on, and there's people dying here. It was all, remember, it was like, this country's doing this country wants this drug, and you know, it was a big mess.
Yep.
Now, but countries could, a lot of countries like Australia and Western countries, they all kind of towed the line and shut down and everything, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't have to. But it would seem now, after this deal, that the next time there's something like that, they have to.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've signed on to something.
Yeah, it's a warm up. Mm.
But they've signed now that a deal has been made. So if there's another pandemic, Australia will have to comply with what, if the World Health Organization says this or says that, they'll have to do it.
Yeah.
So in other words, we're not a sovereign country anymore. Not completely. Like all the countries have signed on, they're not sovereign anymore. This is quite significant, because before October the 2nd, every country was still its own country, right? Yeah. On paper, but they're not anymore, right? They're joined onto this thing, and you don't hear it about it unless you go looking for it, right?
Yeah.
But that's a deal that's been made, and so the bloke who made the video, he said that, well, in other words, if that's the case, if that's the deal that Daniel was talking about, it meant that October the 2nd was the start of the tribulations, right? Now, when you look at what's going on, right, and the tribulations are supposed to involve Israel and Israel being attacked, right? Look what's going on right now. Israel's at war, and there was a blood moon, there was a solar eclipse, there was a comet, and they signed a deal on October the 2nd, and Israel is at war. Mate, I think it might be time to look up. Start looking up, you know? The fig tree's got some leaves on it. Seriously. Yeah. So you had a nice time with Lily?
Yeah.
She feeling
I went
better?
to church. Yeah, it's all good. I went to church this morning over there, and
okay.
Big church, yeah. All free food. They gave me a $20 food voucher for Coles.
Yeah.
That's generous.
That's nice.
Yeah. $50 worth of food. Everything. They had tins of soup, the works. So I got the kids donuts, chocolate donuts, everything. Thrown out, the whole lot. And meat. frozen meats and everything.
For
2
cheap.
bags, all free.
Free?
Yeah, yeah,
To anyone who goes to church?
yes. Well, no, anyone who pops in, regardless go to church or not.
You can have some free food.
Yep.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
Which church was that?
Grace Church, same one as this, but like a sister
And they
church.
further give away food, eh?
Yep, not just bread, everything.
And that's different.
Yeah, frozen packets
That's how
of
it's
chicken.
supposed to be.
Yeah, really good. Even give a bit back, gift voucher cards out.
Yeah. That's good. I like the sound of that.
Yeah,
Well, that's what the disciples started.
yeah,
Everything they shared, everything,
yeah,
and everything was for each other.
yeah.
They put everything together. Everything they all had, they just put it into one big pile.
Yep,
And then anybody who needed something
yep.
could just take out of that pile.
You know what? I took 1 bag, and she said, "Oh, take another bag." She let me take 2 bags. I thought I wasn't going to be greedy. No, that's good. I like this one because they have the sacrament, but not all of them have the sacrament. But that's my personal thing.
Do you want to smoke?
Yes, please.
I wasn't sure if you were smoking or not. If you want to...
No, I basically got kicked out in a nice way because I had 2 left and I smoked them and I got kicked.
You got kicked out.
But I got a
where?
lift from
the church.
No, from Lily's.
Oh, okay.
But I got a lift home. He took me
Who
home.
kicked you out?
Jackie, the daughter-in-law.
Well, because they went away and they came back and found you smoking. Did they?
Yeah, but not them, just her. And
What did she say to you?
You can't smoke on the property,
Not even outside.
not even outside.
So
Well,
she said you want you to go.
yeah. Well, I was having a conversation with Lily, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to go out in the street. But anyway, Ryan was kind. He dropped me off home. He said, "I'll take you home."
Because they'd been away, had they? For how long?
4 days, 4 nights.
Oh, right. So you'd just been smoking your head off there.
Yeah, and I just run out today. So, but anyway, I was waiting for tomorrow because I'm going into the city. You get twice as much for half the price. So I'm not gonna. But anyway, no, it was good, mate. No, but Ryan's okay. He's a lovely guy. He's it's just.
Oh, so Jackie wasn't. She just said, "Oh, was she nice about it?"
This time she was. She just said no, and she doesn't want me there Friday and Saturday because that's her off days from work or something. And I can come Sunday after church if I want to.
What did Lillian say?
Oh, well, she agrees. She said you best not to come and cause any argument because that's her day off, and she doesn't want anyone there smoking, nothing, you know. But when they're at work, I can have a smoke. But when they're on,
Lillian doesn't mind, does she?
no, she's great.
There you go, mate.
But that was my vacation. It was all right.
So
Anyway,
okay.
more about
And
this.
she's
Yeah.
all right. So she's like feeling. She's feeling.
Yeah,
all right,
she's just
ain't
trying to
dying?
raise the money to finish the plumbing so she
Yeah.
can move. Once she moves into that apartment next door, which is built, she got a blessing. She got the loan without interest. Now, how many people would loan her through the Farmers Union Bank or something? They raise yeah.
You know what?
No
it's
interest.
So, there's no, like it's.
The banks.
I've just been reading these stories about these people getting kicked out of their homes and off their farms and that because they couldn't.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just it's sickening.
Yeah.
There's, you know, just listening to this stuff. He was kind of like, imagine a real negative version of Donald Walsh.
Oh.
Okay, a real negative version of him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't listened to someone like to this, but negative version of Donald Walsh.
Yeah.
All right.
Conversation with
Have
example.
we got another ashtray? Is there another one or just? Oh, okay.
I'll put this here.
All right,
You
I like
take-
the
you
top.
take that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had the spirit thing going on, like that we were a spirit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not evolved from monkeys.
Yeah.
All right. That the rest of it was like I listened to it for a while until, because he kept talking about we are eternal spirits.
Mm-hmm.
But he was talking about how this place is hell.
Yeah.
And, we've talked about it ourselves. And,
Bottom stop. Yeah.
But he was just highlighting all the things that go on here and why this couldn't be anything but hell. Like that philosopher Schopenhauer, who said that grief is the default setting here, right? It's along those lines. But the way he brought it out is just kept bringing it back how this is hell. Like we said, how can it be,
Yeah.
so many suffering? I mean, this has got to be hell. I mean, how much worse do you want to get it? So I've said, I can hear myself saying that to you so many times, right?
Mm.
Anyway, just to hear this bloke say it as well, I was able to listen to it. And then he made the fatal mistake of Walsh made a fatal mistake, and he made a fatal mistake by saying there's no God, it's just this eternal spirit. And I shut down there straight away. But I was interested to hear the ideas about how this is hell. He said that we come here to experience it. Same old,
Yeah, we chose it.
but with no answers or anything, okay, and just more questions than anything. So I left one comment. I said, because there's all the stuff about, we keep coming here, we know that it's bad, but we come here anyway. And I left one comment. I said, well, maybe we can fix it. And that's all I left. That's what I said. Maybe we can fix it.
I got a correction from Andrew today, thank goodness, because he knows the Bible. And this guy he's overcome everything. He's overcome smoking, masturbation, you name it. Oh, he was an ex-punk and everything, and he's done it all. And he said, oh, you can't go back, not even once. Of course, you don't make it a lifestyle, but if it happens, it happens. You can repent as a born-again Christian. And he turned around and he said, all those who don't overcome, who are born again of the Spirit, are saved, but they will not be raptured. That was his belief. And I went and had a correction on this. He said, no, all who are born again in the Spirit, accepted Jesus Christ, not religion, are saved, regardless. They just means...
The rapture thing is a big issue with them.
But there is greater rewards once you're born again in the Spirit. But if you're not born in the Spirit, there is no reward. So all the Mormons and Catholics and all these people, there's no reward hereafter.
There's so many ambiguities to it. Like, I can see how that could work, because the elephant in the room of the whole tribulation thing and the rapture is the saints being beheaded during the tribulations. That's the elephant in the room. I mean, who were they? Why didn't they get raptured?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't deny, no one can say that the saints aren't beheaded during the tribulation, because it's exactly what it says. And even at some point in the vision, John says, who are they? And the angel says, yeah, well, they're the saints getting beheaded. We're waiting for the rest of them to get done. So we know that's going on. So I've asked, I've been trying to see, that's not brought out very much. I even left a comment saying, what about them? And then someone said, oh, yeah, well, so he said that they're the ones that come to Jesus after the rapture. Okay, right now. So okay, but if the overcomers go in the rapture, and then the ones that get beheaded are the ones that come to Jesus during the tribulations, well, they're the ones that get to rule during the 1,000 years. Well, you'd think that the overcomers would rule during the 1,000 years. These new ones.
Yeah. All the sippy cup Christians taken up, and all the rest of us left behind, the martyrs and the saints and all that.
But there is the verse that says, some are going to say, well, we were righteous for a long time, and they've only been righteous for a short time. And he says, yeah, but the righteousness, something to the effect of righteousness is righteousness, and it's better that they're in than not, and they're just the same as you. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter that you've been righteous. Just be for a long time, and these ones have only just come on board. Just be happy that they've come on board. Don't whinge. That's what it's. Yeah. So that could be them. The ones that get done during the tribulation. That could be the ones that. So that would give. That would give a reason to the overcomers to complain. If the overcomers didn't get to rule during the 1,000 years, right, but it was the new ones, that would give them a reason to complain, to say, well, what about us? We've been true and faithful.
Good point.
And you say, well, look, just be happy for them. Just hang out in heaven, right? This is just what it could be.
Yeah.
Just, you've got paradise, all right? It's all sweet. But they want to be on the earth doing stuff. It's no, look, you're in paradise. Just be happy that it's the plan, and they're on board now. So it could be that, you know, maybe. Because I've always thought about that one. So why was that in there? See, every story is going to be a reason for every letter.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Every letter is going to be a reason for every symbol. Because of space and... Yeah. So what were you going to say then?
No, all the gutless wonders get taken out, but all the martyrs get to stay behind.
No, well, in this case, not the gutless wonders, the overcomers.
The overcomers.
Right? Yeah. In other words, the candlestick people. Right?
Yeah.
Just in that light, just say that. It's all, because we know there are candlestick people out there, all right?
Yeah.
So it's them. They get taken off, but they start complaining because people like you and me who got beheaded, we get to hang out on the earth and fix the world for 1,000 years, and they don't. They get to hang out in paradise, and they're complaining, saying, "Why can't we?"
Does it say they will complain?
Yeah, they're complaining. They're complaining because the newcomers get the same blessing as them.
Yeah.
Right? And they're complaining about something. There's a reason why that story's in there, and they're not happy about something. Otherwise, you would think that they'd be embracing, you know, oh yeah, come on, beautiful, you come on board, you know. But they're not happy about something, and that could be it.
And the 144,000 will rule as well.
Yeah, see, I wonder if, see, that could be why, right? Because the candlestick people are not part of the 144,000. I'm just thinking, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe the 144,000 will only be revealed. They're going to be beheaded. Right? That's how they're revealed. And that's why, and because the ones that are complaining, they're complaining because they don't have the big picture.
Yep.
Right? They just see a certain thing, like, well, hang on, why are they getting honour and blessing too?
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
When we've been so righteous for so long. So there's something that it's, you know, otherwise you think they'd be happy to embrace the other ones. Yeah. So the other ones are getting some kind of blessing that the other ones feel like they're missing out on.
Yeah. But see, you've been born again of spirit. You're a grace Christian.
Oh, we're not candlestick people.
No, but you still say.
Yeah, but we're not candlestick people.
No,
but maybe we're one of the 144,000. You see what I mean? And they don't realise, the candlestick people don't realise that. Maybe they think that the 144,000 are going to be amongst them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. They're amongst the it's kind of like, the non-candlestick Christians.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
So, in other words, God using the kind of the broken things to reveal himself,
Never know.
to show his glory. So in other words, instead of taking the candlestick people, who are the obvious people to, you can't miss God shining out of them, not using them, using the broken things like you and me to reveal him. Because in the beheading, because a lot of those candlestick people, they probably couldn't handle the beheading, right? Remember I told you about that one who couldn't even handle the idea of getting bitten by a snake?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And I said, well, that doesn't make sense. You're a candlestick person and you haven't got the faith to get bitten by a snake. And she just didn't, right?
Yeah.
So, well, she's obviously a candlestick person, there was no doubt about that. So yeah, maybe that's why, because they're too sensitive and pure to deal with something like that.
Yeah.
Right? To be martyred. That's not for them. Right? They're the children, they're the children. Right? But you people like you and me, we kind of have to earn it a little bit.
Once you're born again of the Spirit, you pick up your own cross, you work out your own salvation. There are rewards, overcoming, but all after the conversion to the grace and deny religion and works and so forth. Yeah.
So we need the blade to kind of like just validate us because we're not overcomers.
Yeah.
But the blade will overcome us. The blade will be overcomers.
And what happens if you die and you don't go through the tribulation? You die before, and you haven't overcome. What happens then? You get the books.
Say that again.
What happens if you die and you haven't overcome? You don't go through the trib because you die. Then what do? What happens? You get the books.
Well,
because they say that if you got the books, it means you're not saved.
See, at some point you're going to have a bit of faith, right?
Yeah, you'll be tested.
So, and that's where my faith is, that, I'm going to push in the queue, the beheading queue.
I know. You've always said that.
That's my faith,
And
that's what I'm getting myself ready for.
Yeah, and they say that the cannibals, anyone who eats people, are not saved. They have no faith at all. Even if they believe in a creator, does cannibals believe in a creator? They said that you wouldn't be saved if you're eating people.
I think it really comes down to, because the whole thing about belief, well, anyone can believe anything, it doesn't make it true, right? There's all kinds of beliefs.
Yeah.
So it's not about belief, but it says that, if you believe that Jesus rose again. But I think there's a lot in this whole thing about I never knew you.
Yeah.
Right? The relationship thing. Right? There are a lot of religious people that have zero relationship with God. They even pray, but they don't have a relationship.
And what about all those people in the Catholic time when they were kept in ignorance, never had the Bible?
Fucking Catholics.
Yeah. 2,000 years almost.
The Pope. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
See, it must have been meant to happen, right? It must have been meant to happen, and it was because it was spoken of a long time ago that this would happen, and then there'd be the big falling away, and so it must have been meant to happen.
It
It wasn't meant to be established back then,
Yeah.
right? The first thing they did was kill all the disciples immediately. Well, let's get rid of them, get them out of the way, so we can just organise things ourselves, right? You would have thought that the disciples, they would have built fortresses for them and kept them safe and secure and guarded them and for the rest of their life and brought them food and, came and sat at their feet and, built in sort of like schools of wisdom around them with the disciples as the head of these, put them in, like I said, in castles and stuff. But no, they just killed them straight away. Let's get rid of them. So it wasn't meant to get started.
Yeah. I suppose God will take that into account.
But see, for Jesus to say something like, when this gospel is preached in all the world, to say it so confidently, like he just knew that it was going to happen. But there was no way that it was going to get preached in all the world in the first few years, especially after the disciples being killed, right? Immediately. So you would have thought that would have been the end of it.
Yeah. Well, John MacArthur and Paul Washer are very strong grace preaching Christians, but they're Calvinists and they believe there are people who get saved are still damned. They're born damned. That's nonsense. And yet they preach.
People who what?
John MacArthur and Paul Washer are very strong preachers on grace, but they believe that there are people. They believe in people born damned. So even if you get saved, you're one of the reprobates, meaning you were never meant to be saved. See, they stuffed up there.
These fucking gum flappers out there. I mean, that's all we keep talking about. You know what I mean? And we've had those bastards for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they preach against religion,
nonsense.
but they've had it.
Let's not talk about their nonsense. Let's talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Now, because you and I, we suck on the bone. Right? Whenever we have these little chats, we suck on the bone.
Yeah.
Right? And two are present. All right.
That's true.
So.
We've had supernatural witnesses.
So it wouldn't matter if the fucking Pope,